So you want to be OP? Well, I'm here to help. All right, so we got all kinds of fun stuff in this video. I'm actually going to start off though right here in the Dalamasca Westersand. Basically, if you notice there down at the bottom, it's kind of a good way to figure out where we're at in the story. This is almost immediately. There's not much that you actually have to do story-wise to actually get to this point. But basically, this is right before you meet Old Dallin for the first time. And this merchant here sells Phoenix Downs, and unfortunately they are a little expensive at the beginning of the game. So you may have to, farm some wolves for a little while and sell the pelts and stuff like that to get a little bit of money. But what you want to do is basically just buy as many Phoenix Downs as you can, and then you go to this other spot here. Hopefully I'll open up my map again and show you exactly where this is at. But the goal here is to actually run into this monster, which is called the Dustia, and farm it over and over, and use the zone out glitch. So what that means is basically these rare monsters are only supposed to spawn once in an area, and then once you kill them off, you would normally have to save your game and kind of like either reload your game or travel to another area to get them to spawn again. But with this zone out glitch, actually, if you notice here, what I'm doing is using a Phoenix Down on this thing, and it kills it right away because it's an undead. And then basically I just grab the item bag and then zip right over across the zone line again. And as long as you do that before the experience and the LP message pops up, you will be able to chain these, which again, normally you're not going to be able to chain Dustias unless you use this method. So that's the reason why it's so good too. So this thing is worth a ton of experience, and I think it's like 3 LP every single time. So it's a really great way to level up at the beginning of the game. The other reason why we want to do this, and we actually really want to do this right away, is because when Van is on his own, he's going to obviously get all of the experience. The LP doesn't really matter because normally that's shared between all of the characters. But it's important for experience reasons. And basically what's going to happen is once we are able to recruit our other characters, they will join at either at Van's level, or some of them join at like 1 level or 2 levels above him. So again, basically the characters that you recruit, or the rest of the characters, will all join at Van's level again or above. So that's why it's so important if you want to really be kind of OP at the beginning of the game, to actually do this with Van alone. The other thing is, I should probably mention this a little bit earlier. In order to make this Dustia spawn, Van has to be below 10% health, and you have to get down to. Actually, I don't know if you have to be below 10% before you enter the area. I actually don't think so. Now that I think about it, I think you can actually be in the zone that Dusty is actually in. That was what I remember anyway, because I'm pretty sure I had to knock down Van's health in order to get this thing to spawn again. Because unfortunately with this method in chaining is every once in a while you'll pick up one of these items, and it'll actually restore some of your health. So unfortunately that means that you'll need to hit yourself, deal a little bit of damage, and then get to spawn again. So here that was really risky. If you notice, it was casting dark right there. And I zoned out before it was able to hit. So that was a little risky. The trick there, if you notice, or what I was trying to do there, was to get the Dustia to come a little bit closer to the zone line. And that just makes it easier to get back across the zone line in time before your experience message pops up. So here's a really good spot. If you notice, we're right next to it. But anyways, that was my last Phoenix Down, so I knew I was going to need to take off. So I just killed it and got the The Book of Ordain. So basically, you can get a couple of items there, and the other reason why this is good is every Book of Ordain, is about 500 gil, I think it is. Now keep in mind, so one of the other things is, again, I don't know why I didn't pull up my map here, but basically we're right outside Rabanastre. This is the zone right outside Rabanastre, and then hopefully you can tell from the kind of the direction I took on where that Dustia actually spawns. Keep in mind the Dustia does only spawn in that other area there. So again, hopefully you're able to find him. I actually think I might have cut out where I pulled up my map, because normally I would do that to show you exactly where he's at. But anyways, he's pretty easy to find. So anyways, all right, we're gonna head back into town here and sell any of the items that we got. So anyways, as far as the drops go, Book of Ordains are common, or more common. Every once in a while, if you get really lucky, you'll get a Flame Staff. Flame Staffs sell for like 1,000, I think it's 600 gil. So you can buy a bunch more Phoenix Downs if you want to. And then again, the great thing about chaining those too is as you get deeper into the chain, you'll get more and more of these things to drop at a time. So like, I think you can get up to, I think at least 3, maybe even 4 Book of Ordains at a time. Again, you gotta be pretty lucky to get that many. But all right, so I got 5 there. That's not too bad. That's not great though. Keep in mind, you're not going to be able to buy more Phoenix Downs here in Rabanastre, unfortunately. So if I wanted to continue, I would have to go all the way back to the Westersand and check out the vendor over there. Alright, so the second thing that we're going to do here is we're going to work on, I'm going to talk a little bit about how to get, I would say it's the most powerful weapon in the game, which is the Zodiac Spear. So we're right outside of Old Dalen's house. Now you have to make sure that you never take this treasure chest here. There are a couple of treasure chests in the game, and I'm going to lay them out chronologically. It's going to look a little goofy. The game is going to, or my video, it's going to feel a little displaced, but basically I just made this video chronologically. So basically this is, again, I just kind of went around and grabbed, or kind of went around with the idea that I would be getting the Zodiac Spear. So anyway, this is basically where we get captured, and oh, I'm sorry. No, yeah, I'm sorry. So this is the Royal Palace cellars. No, and I'm sorry, this is not where we're captured yet. So this is just the cellars after Van breaks in. And basically there's one treasure chest here. It's the one on the left. So if you notice on the map here, this is the cellars, and it's that treasure right there. I think normally it's an elixir in there, so just again, make sure that you don't get that. The reason for this, or the reason for why I'm saying this, is because there's a couple of treasures in the game, or treasure chests, where if you open them, you're not able to get that Zodiac Spear. So again, avoid these ones. So this is the next set, and this is actually after we get captured. So obviously it's Baltier, Fran, and Vaughn here. And I think there's 3 treasure chests in that room. So again, that's another set where you don't, well, yeah, that's the confiscatory. The Nalbina Dungeons. So again, don't take any of those treasure chests either. And then what have we got here? Oh, this is quite a bit later on. Again, keep in mind this is I just made this video chronologically, so this is kind of like the path I would say that you want to take if you want to be crazy powerful. You don't have to do all of these steps, mind you, but this one, unfortunately, this is super time consuming. I think I just got, it's a combination of me having bad luck and this treasure isn't going to spawn all that frequently. Basically, this next treasure only spawns at, I think, a 45% chance. And even if you do get the chest to spawn, I think it's like somewhere around half the time it'll have an item in it, and half the time it'll be gold. So again, unfortunately, this can take a little bit of time to do, but I think it's worth it. This gets you the golden amulet. The golden amulet doubles LP gains, so it just makes you more efficient, I guess, if you're trying to farm LP. So doubles license points gain. Unfortunately, that only works for the character that it's equipped on too. So if you want to farm LP on multiple characters, you're going to need multiple golden amulets. So basically what I end up doing there is I farm up 2 of them there, and then I get the 3rd one from the quest that you need to do in order to get into here. I'm not going to outline all of that quest because it's a little time consuming, but it does require that you do the flowering cactar hunt, and then gather up a couple of items for Dantro's wife. She's on the Dalamasca Westersand. And basically it ends up with you obtaining the key here to the Barhan Passage. There's basically multiple little areas here in Barhan Passage that are really good, and basically this is right after you've completed the events at the Wraithwall temple. So you can get in here. So the first thing we're going to do is actually get a sword that's really, really good. I would argue, I think it's kind of worthwhile to maybe even get 2 of them. And you'll see here in a little bit why, but basically I used these swords essentially until the very end of the game. So, you know, we're only about, I don't know, maybe 25% of the way through the game. But anyway, what you're looking for here is this, it looks like a treasure, but it's actually an enemy here. And I shouldn't have even messed around with these monsters here because they've got really good damage output, and my gear is not up to snuff right now, and I'm probably just not leveled enough either. But anyways, so we're looking for this Ithuno, and sometimes it'll be there, sometimes it's not. So obviously if it's not there, you'll need to just reset your game. Here I took a, yeah, this was a, that was not the right way to go. I just kind of ended up taking a bunch of extra damage that I really didn't need to take. But oh, and then the Ithuno wasn't following me. The idea here is to get the Ithuno to follow you all the way to the zone line, which it isn't that tough to do, but for whatever reason it just decided to not follow me. So what I actually tried to do here was to cast slow on it, which I don't know if that actually landed or not. I don't think it did though. And then here I did the same thing again and tried to get myself killed again. Alright, so let's just keep running here. The idea here is to get to the zone line, and you'll kind of see my strategy here in a little bit. The idea is we need to steal from this thing, and it's going to get us, I think it's the Deathbringer. I think that's the name of the sword. We'll see here in a bit, but anyways, pull it to the zone line. I think it's just safest. The rest of these monsters will, yeah, we'll just kind of run away, but alright, so we're almost there. Okay. So now that it's really close, I'm just going to hop over to this side of the zone line and res my characters and heal them up and kind of get my gambit set up. So it's up to you on whether or not you think it's worthwhile to get the thief cuffs to do this, which I would argue it is. This can be time consuming and frustrating, so Thief Cuffs is going to double your chances of a successful steal. So I think that's worthwhile. Now, in order to get that, or to get the Thief Cuffs, you would have to go to the Nalbina Fortress and then jump on a chocobo and run towards the Imperial soldiers at the zone line. And that'll make them run away. And that'll let you get into the Mosforan Highways. I think that's the name of that. Is it highways or high road? Mosforan High Road, I think it is. Anyways, so it's not too much farther in that you can actually get to a little village there, and there's an NPC that sells the thief cuffs. So again, grab those. I think it's worthwhile. Now, maybe it's going to be a little ironic that I said that because I got incredibly lucky here, and I think I popped over the zone line and stole it on my first try. So, you know, that was actually just phenomenal luck. Unfortunately here, if you notice now, I'm all out of MP, or Fran's low. Fran's usually my healer, so I had to do a little charge there. I put Protect on everybody. I don't know if that was worthwhile or not, but anyways, the Ithuno, basically when you cross sides over again, it'll just use its drain attack on you immediately. And usually I just try to steal once and then run back across the zone line. So there's the Deathbringer. So that's essentially what I would do there is you know, let it drain one time, and then everybody gets to steal because I've got their gambit set up to basically just steal. And there it is. So attack power 90 on hit, it knocks out. So randomly it'll just kill your enemies, which is, you know, pretty great. Again, I got insanely lucky though. I know the other time I did this that took actually quite a bit longer. And then if you want another one, basically all you have to do here is to run to this this treasure there's not treasure chest, save sphere or save crystal, and then just reload your game. I'm not going to do that just because yeah, I guess for video's sake, why bother? Wow, there we go. Sometimes these crystals are tricky, apparently. Okay. So again, those Deathbringers, though, I know at least one of my characters used one of those for basically the entire game. So they're really good. I don't know why I'm running back here. Oh, yeah. I'm sorry. So this is the next area that we need to go to. Basically, there's a fork in this path here. What am I doing? Oh, okay. Yeah, this is probably not such a bad idea. So Libra here, I just did that so that I could see the traps coming up. Now, I'll be honest, I didn't really need to equip those thief cuffs anymore, so I could have just equipped the accessory that always gives you Libra, which would have been, I think, smarter, but that's not what I decided to do for whatever reason. So anyways, alright, so this is the second path into the Barham Passage. Now, the goal here is to pick up, there's 3 different pieces of armor that I think are really good. One is a helmet, and then 2 of them are chest pieces. Now, the helmet, I think that's another item that I would argue might be good until the end of the game. The helmet actually gives you +3 speed, and it's got a really good magic resist to it. So, I would argue that, you know, you could very well use that to basically the very end of the game if you wanted to. The armor is kind of the same way. There's 2 different pieces. One is the cleric's robe, which I think is a little better for like your caster, or if you've got a caster or a healer like I did. I kind of made Fran my healer this game. And then, so actually what we're looking for, it's not this chest right here, which is a little goofy. It was the one across the way. So, unfortunately, I didn't actually get lucky enough here on my first trip. If you'll notice here, I'll end up, I'll open that up, and I think I only got gil out of it, so that's a little unfortunate. But anyway, that's where the helmet is at. So we'll climb these stairs here, and I'll actually show you. Yeah, it's this treasure chest right here. Yeah, okay. So again, normally, or the other possibility for that is I think it's like the Celebrance Miner or Celebrance Miner, something like that. We'll see here in a little bit. And then, alright, so let's go right here, I think it is. Alright, so there's a mine cart here. Yeah, precarious cart. And you need to hit this. And basically that just forms a path so that we can get down into the area a bit farther. Yeah. There's some other chests in this area, but they don't have any gear in them, so I shouldn't say that. There are some more, but there's a lot of random ones, you know, that don't. So, anyways, all right. So this is the next one, and basically you just need to come over here, and then there's another little bit of a zone line right here. And again, I don't think I got lucky this time around. But, oh yeah, the chest isn't even here. So you know, I don't know what rate this spawns at either, but I vaguely remember these chests though spawning really frequently and having, you know, those items in there pretty often. So I would say don't get too discouraged. This isn't like the golden amulet. That golden amulet was way harder to get a hold of. And it's good to get that golden amulet because unfortunately this armor is all really good and it takes a lot of license points in order to get there. So here's the dragon mail. The dragon mail I think is pretty decent. Again, I think this is it's sort of a good piece of armor until, you know, kind of the end of the game too. I would argue that it's more for like physical characters, but I don't know. It is what it is. You know, you can actually make do with some really crummy armor in this game, to be completely honest, as long as you know, level up a bit. So, but this is the good stuff. All right, so everybody kind of got knocked out here, and that's actually one thing I should have pointed out earlier too, is that really what you want to do is to actually just have one character run through here, because a lot of these monsters will use multi-target spells, and so if you've got multiple characters out, it's just going to, or you're just going to take a bunch more damage, and unfortunately make it more likely that you will end up getting killed off. So yeah, again, I would say just, you know, use one character at a time to try to grab these treasure chests. All right, so at this point now, this is the last save point that I'm gonna get to down here. So, kind of what I like to do is actually just make a run all the way to this save point, and then I'll run back to the other one. And you know, obviously, if I get anything that I need, then I'll save my game. But if I don't, if I get to that last treasure chest and you know, I haven't gotten any of the items that I wanted, then I'll just restart. But again, that's actually pretty rare, because these chests are, you know, they're I don't know if I would say that. Yeah, they're probably common, but and then, you know, the items in them are usually there too. So again, anyways, we're just gonna make this run at least one more time. Actually, I think this is the last time. I think I did a little cut here at the end and just spliced in some of my footage of actually getting, I think it was the helmet, but we'll see. Whoa. Yeah, these things do obviously quite a bit of damage. You know, what am I, like level 30 or so right now? So I didn't want to actually fight this stuff quite yet. Oh, and only money that time. All right, so Ven takes one for the team, so let's pull somebody else in. Okay, so I think this next treasure chest is the one with the, I think it's the cleric's robes. And I think it was actually here this time. Here we go. Yeah, alright, here we are. Oh, no, only money that time. My bad. I thought I actually got the cleric's robes that time. Well, that is a shame. Huh. Okay. Well, we'll see. Maybe that's at the end of the video. Keep going. You can do it. Oh man, so close. Here we are. Yeah, okay. Alright, so I think this is going to be the Celebrant Miter. So this will be the helmet. Yeah, there we are. Okay. Good stuff. Okay. Again, I think that those are just great. I actually really like those through the whole game. Oh, wow, yeah. I took a cut all the way back here again. Okay. So yeah, all right. This will be the cleric's robes, I believe. I don't think reflect was actually a good idea here. I think, well, I mean, it's not a horrible idea either, but it didn't end up doing what I wanted it to do. So I think I had considered, you know, maybe using reflect and hopefully the spells would bounce, but they didn't seem to do that. They seemed to I should say the enemies seem to be ignoring the reflect status. So I don't really know why that's the case, but anyways, I think I did actually reflect blind onto somebody though. I think there's skeleton. Yeah, I think it's the skeletons that use blind, and it did seem to bounce that. So that was kind of interesting to see. Unfortunately, with the with the reflect status in this game, actually I should say for me anyway, I normally do all of my healing with magic, and you can't really do that when you've got the reflect status up. So that's a little unfortunate, but I think they solved that in the Zodiac version of the game. All right, so the chest with the dragon mail wasn't there this time, so we'll just have to ignore that, which is okay. I didn't really care about that. The goal here was to get those cleric's robes, which again it should be right up here and across this zone line. Alright. Bingo. Alright, yeah, so that's... so again, that's the 3 pieces of armor, so hopefully I'll just take a look here at... Alright, so 37 defense, 42 magic power... Yeah, so it boosts up your magic power a bit. So again, probably a good item for your healer. And then again, the dragon mail I think is pretty decent for your melee type characters. But all right, so that's about it. So I think having all that gear is pretty important for this next step, which is the final step. So actually, what we're going to do here, and again, this is immediately after you do the events at the Wraith Wall Temple. So. You can come here right after. If you notice here, so I've got the Zodiac Spear already on Baltier. So that's 150 attack power. And the thing is just amazing. I love it. I do have to admit, though, so when I took this particular footage, I had already obviously gone through and grabbed the Zodiac Spear. Now, normally there's a boss here as well. I didn't want to, put footage of that in here because this video was getting kind of too long already. But as far as strategy, basically it's just be high enough level. And one of the things I think that can really help is if you've got your quickenings. And specifically, actually I should say it's your quickenings for everybody. So what I actually like to do is knock the bosses down, or health down a bit. And then I'll pull in my other 3 characters that I don't use very much, and I'll be honest. So when I took this footage, my other 3 characters, obviously these are my main 3, and they're super high level, but my other 3 are like level 13 or so. But the good thing about those quickening is they still do a lot of damage. And so what I did was I actually just knocked down the boss's health quite a bit, and then I brought the other 3 in and blew all their quickenings. And then I brought my main 3 characters back in and, used whatever quickenings I could to finish off the, I think it's the Bomb King. I think that's his name. So, yeah, if you notice here, look at my other 3 characters, their levels are just pathetic. So, and again, you don't have to do this at level 60. You can do this way earlier. And, anyways, so the other, I should have mentioned this too, is that normally there's another area that's got 16 treasure chests, and that's the Fawn Coast. The Fawn Coast, basically when you can come here the earliest, you can't even get to the Fawn Coast yet. So you actually, if you're coming here as early as possible, you don't even need to worry about accidentally grabbing those chests. So much like the other ones, like that chest outside of Old Dallin's place, and the what is it, the 3 in the confiscatory, and then the 1 in the cellars. Those are really the only ones that you need to worry about. But again, if you come here later on in the game where you actually do have access to the Fawn Coast, keep in mind that there are, and it's pretty obvious when you come across them. But there's 16 treasure chests on the coast. And if you grab the wrong one, the Zodiac Spear will disappear from the... Actually, I think if you grab any of them, the Zodiac Spear will disappear from the Necrol of Nebides. So actually, what I did here is I'm actually showing you guys kind of how I went about getting my my quickenings for my other characters. So if you notice here, this is Pinello. This is the area at the bottom of the license point grid, and this is kind of where all of the like the rods are at and stuff. And I really don't like those weapons. So basically, I just went over there with Pinello and grabbed her 3 quickenings. And then this is Bosch, so it's kind of same deal with him. I don't use a whole lot of knives and guns, and that's kind of this area of the license point grid. So I just went over here with Bash and grabbed or Bosch, whatever. And then here is the one that this quickening over here that you have to kind of cruise through the armor. That one kind of gets expensive because if you notice we're quite a ways off from where we kind of start at. So as you go away from starting locations, the license points become a bit more expensive. So, anyways, so that was my strategy, was to kind of just blow all the license points on my less used characters, on the stuff that's kind of harder to get to. So, and again, I actually kind of think it's okay because again, normally what I use those other 3 characters for is to just blow their quickenings. Either at the beginning of battle. It's probably I'd argue sometimes it's the best time to do it because it's just easy. And unfortunately, those 3 have almost no health, so they don't last long in combat. So. Again, that's just kind of one of my strategies that I've found kind of useful. Again, keep in mind that this is the original Final Fantasy XII, so this is not the Final Fantasy XII Zodiac Age. Basically, or almost all of this stuff will be a little bit different. I don't know all of the differences between the 2 versions of the game, but anyways, all right. So let's get back to it. So we're here in the Necrol of Nebudis. Now, if you're here super early, this stuff is going to be almost impossible to kill. This stuff it deals a ton of damage. Yeah, if you notice here, I'm healing myself for like 3,000 at a time, which is, yeah, it's kind of nuts. But I mean, that's what happens when you're level 60. So anyways, all right. So let's come back outside here. So basically, what I would highly recommend here, if you're here in your 30s, 40s, which I think is very easily doable. And I think that's when I was originally here to get the spear. So basically what you want to do, though, is to just only use one character at a time. The same deal as kind of the strategy we used in the Barheim passage. And the reason for that, obviously, kind of same deal, is whenever one of your characters gets knocked out, unfortunately, it can kind of take a bit of time for your other character to kind of take over as leader. And we really don't want to be doing that here because these enemies hit so hard. So we really want to only have one character out and then swap the new one in once that character dies. So Libra is pretty important here. I actually did bring in, I brought in one of my other characters to give myself float, but you don't need float if you've got Libra. And again, if you're here kind of like at the earliest possible time, you're not going to have float anyway. So anyways, I don't know why I'm monkeying around here. Oh, yeah, okay. I did cast float on myself. Again, normally you wouldn't have this. Again, if you've, come here super early on in the game, you won't have float, but it's redundant anyway. If you've got Libra, you don't need float. I mean, float is nice regardless because, you don't have to avoid, running around traps, but, yeah. There's traps all over this place, too. So, anyways, all right, let's make our run. This is going to look, obviously, a little bit easier, actually quite a bit easier because my characters are so high level, but you'll get the idea, I think. So really what I would do here is kind of run up to this spot. Now this is actually a dead end, but the reason why I run up here is because this is a good spot to just wait and let the enemies reset, and then you can heal here as well. Yeah. Yeah, so normally, I don't know, if I was here earlier on, I could only probably take 1 or 2 hits from these guys before I'd get killed. So, anytime one of your characters dies, just make sure that you bring somebody else in, and then, if you get a break to do a little bit of healing, make sure you resurrect them. Obviously, you don't want to run out of live characters, otherwise you'll get that game over. So, alright, let's just continue on here. Boy, this room is just packed full of guys. Ugh. I got 1,000? Yeah, that would almost one-shot me. Back at level 30-ish. Alright, so here we've crossed our first zone line, so this is another good spot to just, take a little break, heal. If anybody has been killed, make sure you resurrect them. Protect helps a lot. I should have mentioned this earlier. Protect will just reduce the amount of physical damage that you take, and that's going to be the most, or I should say, it's going to be most of the damage that you take. So, anyways, let's just continue on here. Another trap up there. Right around here, you can probably afford to heal again. Yeah. Oh yeah, and we're almost at the zone line anyway. Oh, I went the wrong way. Wimp, wimp. Yeah, okay. Yeah, I just decided to run all the way to the zone line before I started healing. Okay. Alright, so same deal, heal yourself up right here, resurrect anybody that's been killed. And this is the final leg. Now, this is arguably the trickiest part. Basically, there's a room here. It's just to the right of us, and then a little bit to the north. It'll be obvious once we get in there, but obviously I've already grabbed the Zodiac Spear, so unfortunately you're not going to see the exact chest, but I'm going to stand right where it's normally at. Basically, it's this one up in the front. Yeah, it's this one basically right there, right where I'm standing. Yeah, so right there is where the chest should be at. Obviously, again, I've already grabbed it. And then I grabbed that chest back there out of the Fawn Coast. So again, normally if this is your first time here and you're here like at your earliest possible time, all of those chests will be there. And again, as long as you didn't grab any of those chests that I warned you not to earlier on, the Zodiac Spear will be there, which both here is proudly showing it off. But that's it. As far as different things that can make you OP, I would argue that these kind of are the best, especially for the time that you can get them. So again, that's my recommendations. I'm sure there's more, and feel free to disagree. I think, some of those, maybe you could probably make an argument that you don't really need the golden amulets, but I like them. I like to, I feel like it's just a lot more efficient when farming the LP and stuff. So anyways, those are my recommendations, and as always, hope the guide was helpful, and hope you join me for more videos. Thanks for watching.